Episode 5 of my $60,000 in debt to a household millionaire net worth in 6 years series. And today we're talking about house hacking. So in my last video, I mentioned that I significantly reduced a lot of my expenses in order to pay off my debt faster. And that did play a big part in it. And house hacking was in some ways a part of that. Less so after the fact when I did all the math than I expected, but here's what I thought it was going to do. So house hacking is essentially buying a property that has a suite or additional units that you can rent out to somebody else. You get rental income to help subsidize the costs, which significantly lowers your own cost of living in theory. Now, this did work in the long term. What we did was my partner and I ended up buying a single family home, an 884 square foot bungalow for $254,000. We added $25,000 of improvements to the mortgage. So the total cost of the house was $279,000. We did 5% down, which was about just under $14,000. So the total mortgage we took out was $265,000. This house ended up costing us in the long term, after the basement renovation was done, all of the costs of the house were about $2,400 a month, less we were getting about $1,300 a month in rent. So net to us was about $1,100 to split. So if you split that, it's just under $600 each, which is significantly less than I was paying, which was $1,300 to live in my condo. So long term, that's great. However, what we didn't factor in was the renovation cost us quite a bit more out of pocket than we expected. And him and I ended up splitting, so I had to buy him out of his portion of that. So all in all, in the first 2 years, I ended up spending about an extra $32,000 in renovations, furniture, decor, etc., to put into that home to get the basement suite rentable and to get the main floor unit updated. So that did not accelerate my debt repayment journey. It definitely slowed it down. And so I was still able to get out of debt in those 3 years, but I probably would have been able to in like a year and a half or 2 years had I not taken on these additional costs of this house. However, in the long term, this house did end up being a good investment. And if we had to move back there currently, the total cost to us would be about $800 a month, which if you split that, that's $400 each. That's crazy in this economy. So in the long term, house hacking and buying this rental property has been a good investment, but in the short term, it didn't actually help me get out of debt any faster. In episode 6, I'm going to be talking about all of the ways that I increased my income aside from my 9 to 5 in order to get out of debt significantly faster, because the income increasing was the definite largest part of getting the debt paid down as quick as I could.